Good morning, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you might be doing. We wish to welcome you to the Silverlight Show. The Silverlight shines to illuminate that which lies hidden in darkness. For those of you tuning in today, we welcome you in. So, the big economic announcement: beer sales are dropping. That's right. Have people suddenly turned a new leaf? No. Are people suddenly becoming health conscious? No. The opinion stated by the industry is that people are simply turning to other drinks, whether non-alcoholic or it's just simply the latest hard cider that's coming out. Because let's be honest, the taste of beer is not for everybody. A lot of beers are bitter, and that's what people claim to enjoy about them. Now, I enjoy a good taste of the suds just like everybody else, but I recognize not everybody will. I also like vegetables. Oh, give me some okra. Absolutely. We got some beans downstairs that are somehow going to be incorporated into dinner tonight. My wife loves vegetables. She'll be thrilled when she sees what I have in mind. You know who hates vegetables? My 11-year-old girl. And I've given her some even sweet vegetables to taste and even sweet fruits, like I grow my own raspberries, and she finds they taste bitter. Even though we're eating from the same plant, either she's getting all the bitter ones by random selection, or what I think is she tastes the chlorophyll or something like that. I'm saying chlorophyll because most of the time it's green vegetables she doesn't like. And that's why she's staying away from it. Now, the hops in beer are what give it its taste, but they are a naturally bitter product. Have you ever been through a hop field? I have in Europe, and it's a very different experience. It smells almost like popcorn when they're growing, but it's a green plant. It's got that chlorophyll in there. It's got everything, and when you boil it up and stuff like that, you still get that lovely popcorn taste, which is why if you get a proper Pilsner, as in Pilsner Urquell, I'm saying that wrong, my apologies to the Czech people, they taste magnificent, especially if you can ever get one in a pub. Ooh, just beyond this world. So, with that bitter taste, cider also has a bit of a bitter taste, but it's a little bit sweeter for the most part. Scrumpy Jacks, which is my personal favorite, it doesn't have a bitter taste, it just has a knock you on your butt taste. And more importantly, this also gives room for people who want to have a light beverage and not have that bitter taste to have coolers, vodka coolers, rum coolers, tequila coolers, whatever is available now. And it expands every day. I'm not even going to attempt to wrangle out which is which. But I understand when you're sitting down on a nice spring day, not everybody's taste is precisely the same. We're all humans, we all have free will. If you want to drink some Zima, hey, remember that? I'm not going to judge you on it. If you're going to drink a Coke, I'm not going to judge you on it. Now, the thing is, the industry is all fretting. Beer sales are down a record amount. All these headlines are over that people are drinking less beer. Now, do you want to know the actual decline? This is one of the things they don't put in a lot of the stories. Beer sales went down by 0.8%. Not even 1%. Not even 1 in 100 stopped drinking beer. Now, maybe those were all the heavy alcoholics that were told by their doctors you can't drink ever again or you're going to die. Maybe Like I said, people have free choice and there's better tasting things out there for them. Everybody's taste is different. Or maybe because beers have been so homogenized with companies buying up other companies and basically concentrating into Interbrew and, Molson Coors or whatever it's calling itself today. And that's the problem. They come in to a Rickards. They say, hey, your plant doesn't match our model. Well, yeah, because we're brewing a different type of brew than you are. So we need, you know, extra aging process and extra whatever it is. No, 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 just make it like our Molson products and, you know, do this. It saves money. You don't have that diversity for people to be able to taste, which is difficult for me to sell considering all the varieties of beer that you can find even on your average grocery store shelf, much less in the actual beer store or your local liquor. Apparently I was drinking before this episode. Your local liquor store. The control at the top is exactly what's throttling the industry. Because ultimately they all taste the same. A little bit different in alcohol. You'll get an outlier here or there. I'm flavored with hemp, which appeals to the. I don't like saying hippies. Hippies is kind of a 1960s term, and modern hippies are nothing like the hippies from the 80s and 70s. They might be health conscious, maybe all that sort of stuff, but they're not sitting around all day loading themselves up on drugs, or at least most of them aren't. There still are those types of hippies. They're going away on spiritual retreats and taking ayahuasca or something like that. They're just looking for a craft brew. And I admit to occasionally enjoying a Mill Street organic beer just simply because it's got that bitter, hoppy taste in it that I enjoy. Food Theory actually did a study on that, and they found out that Corona drinkers, the bottle is designed for it to have that bitter taste, that so-called skunky taste, because it's designed to be exposed to sunlight. Most beer bottles come in a brown container because they want you to drink it and not get that skunky taste. But there's people like me that actually enjoy a reasonable amount of it. And that's what Corona and Mill Street Organic are doing with their clear bottles. They want you to get that bit of skunk in there. Most people I know, and I used to brew my own beer until I don't know who, I'm guessing it's the international mega corporations, figured out that people were working their way around it and raised the prices on everything so that instead of me brewing 5 gallons, which is a hell of a lot of beer, it's now the same price for me to brew it and spend 2 weeks at home, hunched over, washing bottles, doing all that sort of stuff, and then filling them all up, waiting for the secondary fermentation to take place. It's the same price now for me to go out and buy a case of beer. But I still have the equipment in case that ever reverses itself. Most people are willing to do that, and I can tell you I appreciate why. Having your cup or bottle of beer, whatever you feel like, if you're sick of Molson products, so you decide to move into a Labatt's or something, then you can do it. I feel like whatever this weekend, it's possible. Whereas when you're self-brewing, you can't do that. So this whole market share idea is based on corporate greed and a failure to identify with your market. Remember the saying, the customer is always right, does not mean anything about the individual customer. That customer can be incredibly wrong. But the market is always right. If your customers are choosing to buy product A instead of product B, unless they're both pretty profitable, you should probably discontinue product B. And you're going to get complaints. I don't care what it is. I used to work as a Subway manager many moons ago. And whenever they discontinued a special, and I would see the sales, like in a day you'd get 1 or 2 orders for, spicy chicken with habanero, whatever it might be. and you'd be keeping that inventory and that stock around for one or two people to order it. Now, the interesting thing is not only beer companies, but your Subways, your McDonald's, and stuff like that have gone the opposite way. Instead of concentrating on their core products, they have 10,000 niche products. As Gordon Ramsay says, identify what you are and concentrate on that. It's important to diversify later, but it'd probably be better for Molson's, McDonald's, Wendy's to open a second chain that specializes in whatever other thing they're trying to do instead of, trying to have so many different products under one house. And I think that's the one thing that's being missed by Interbrew, by Molson, by all those different people, is that people have an expectation. If you go to the keg, you're probably expecting to buy a steak. If you're going to Red Lobster, you might have the steak and lobster combo, but more likely you're interested in their unlimited shrimp or their combinations or whatever the deal might be. If you go to McDonald's, you're looking probably for some kind of hamburger. And I've never understood why McDonald's has such problems with dinner time. They always say, dinner time's the hardest time to attract customers. That's when people are out and about getting fast food and you sell your hamburgers. I've never seen a vacant McDonald's drive-thru during the dinner time. I should specify during the dinner time. It gets packed out the window. Well, all these companies have failed to realize that. Instead of having fruity wines, a division of Molson Coors or Interbrew, they'd rather put it under the Interbrew name. And I think this saturation is one of the reasons their markets have contracted. Because people saying, I'm so tired of, there's 3 beers everywhere in Canada. There's your Molson Canadian, there's your Labatt's Blue, and usually you get something like a Coors Light or whatever, and then the 4th beer is whatever the owner finds is profitable. But those 3 are pretty much constant. You can go into almost any bar in Canada and get those same 3 beers. I'd be surprised if you could find one that didn't have them. And if you can't get them on tap, you can definitely get them in the bottle. You know why? Because they sell the best. You're trying to chip away at that market share, it isn't going to work. And that 0.8% of people that stop drinking beer, are probably because they're sick of those same 3 choices and would rather express their individuality in their drink or just by their taste. So there you go. Molson's Interbrew. I just solved your problem. Mail a check to Silverlight. Contact me. I'll give you the address to send it out to. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Silverlight Show. If you did, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. Don't forget to click the bell icon so that way you can be notified every time there's a new episode of the Silverlight Show. We hope you have a fantastic day.